So, 60 days is over. First 60 days of 2016 are done. They're in the books. Today's the last day, and it's a bonus day. And hopefully you're focused on it. You're going to create some business with it. You're going to do some things that you haven't been doing, so you have a little extra opportunity. But in thinking about what I wanted to talk about with all of you today, is I wrote down these 4 words. We will be discouraged. Write it down. It sounds like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you say I'm going to be discouraged? Write that down. Just write it down for now. You see, sometimes you might be out there prospecting 3 hours a day for 2 weeks and not get a listing, and you feel a little bit what? Discouraged. You feel it happens, right? It's a real thing that happens. Or we go out and we present 3 offers, which is great. We feel excited about it, and none of them go together. We feel a little bit what? Discouraged, okay? And we're going to show property. Last month we showed property to 4 different buyers. We had 4 different things cooking. Great stuff was happening, and none of those came together, and we feel a little bit what? Okay, well, and that's just in the last few weeks. Do you get it? And this is going on day in and day out, hour in and hour out, month in and month out. You work on your expireds, and you follow up, and you get no results, and you quit calling because you were what? Discouraged. You worked out this morning. You really killed it for 1 hour. You didn't lose 5 pounds. And you felt a little what? Discouraged. Okay, that's our reality. I wrote down here, we will get discouraged. That's life. The real question is, what will you do about it? You see, every day, almost every hour, there's something that's going to happen that could be a little bit discouraging. The question comes into play with, okay, how are you going to react to it? What's going to happen? And I want you to write this down, and I want you to put a circle around it. It will happen, so what? Write down, you will get discouraged, so what? It will happen, so what? Paul Meyer once said, 90% of those who fail are not actually defeated. 90% of those people who fail are not actually defeated. They simply what?
Give up.
Quit. They quit. We all get discouraged, but you don't have to quit. We're all going to be discouraged. We're going to have that listing appointment that didn't come together, yet we're not supposed to quit. I wrote down here, how well you follow through with your plan will determine your success. How well you follow through on your plan will determine your success. But that means you have to have a plan. Okay? And you have to write down the plan, because we tend to forget what our plan is, right? Okay, we're 2 months into the year. 60 days have passed. Two months into 2016. When's the last time you looked at your business plan? When's the last time you looked at how many listings you want to take? How many sales you want to make? How many contacts should you have made so far? How many hours should you prospected? How many scripts should you have memorized by now? When's the last time you looked at your business plan? How well you follow through on your plan determines your success. You make things happen only by seeing them through to the end. We will be discouraged. What are you doing about it? We will be discouraged. What are you going to do about it? John Maxwell says there are two types of people when it comes to discouragement. There's splatters and bouncers. Write it down. Splatters and bouncers. Splatters and bouncers. Two types of people. Splatters hit rock bottom, they fall apart, and they stick to the bottom like glue. Go boop. Nothing happens. The bouncers hit bottom, they pull themselves together, and they bounce back. Doesn't something happen to us negative on a daily basis? Sometimes on an hourly basis. You know? You pick up the telephone, you're all excited, guy says, come over and list my house. Yippee! 10 minutes later, you get a phone call. You know you shouldn't be taking this phone call. It looks like it's from some guy. And he says, I thought I was calling Joey. You're Louie. I want Louie. I don't want Joey. So don't come over. Oh, man. Happens, right? Happens. So we have splatters and we have bouncers. It doesn't matter what happens to you in life. That's not the critical part. It's how you react to it. We will find, from time to time, things will be discouraging. What are you going to do about it? After 40 years in the business, I know this for a fact, that sometime or another, in the pursuit of our goals, we will get discouraged. And when that happens, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Get up, brush yourself off, and get going? Look, I have to tell you something. You know, if I look back, and sometimes I get that question from new agents, you know, what was your career like? What did it look like? And, you know, people see me standing up here, and, you know, I have a nice, pretty new tie on, and, you know, can go take care of that. And I went out and bought a new pair of shoes this weekend. Well, that was kind of cool. You know, and I should be able to do those kinds of things after 40 years in the business. And, you know, as a new agent, you know, sometimes you can't do that. Hey, as a new agent, I used to resole my shoes. True story. Because it was cheaper than doing what? Buying a new pair. Absolutely. I remember a time, true story. I was going to a Century 21 convention and it was raining in New Orleans. And I was so broke. No, it just didn't have it. I had money to go to the convention, but I didn't have anything else to speak of. But I wanted to go to this convention. It was important to me to see what was going on at the convention. I needed a raincoat, you know, one of those London fog kind of deals. Nothing fabulous, just London fog's been around for a long time. Not the least expensive, not the most expensive. In order to buy that coat, when I went into the men's store or Robertson's, wherever I got it, this goes back almost 35 years, there wasn't enough room on one credit card to pay for the coat. Coat, I would say, was probably $80 at the time. I don't know today, what are they, a couple $100s? But at the time, it was maybe $80. I had to put it on 2 credit cards because there wasn't enough room there wasn't $80 on one. There was 50 on one and maybe, you know, 40 or 50 on another because they were maxed out. Do you guys get that? I didn't start here. I was discouraged. There was plenty of discouragement in my career. There still is. You know, I think that a particular agent should be working for our company or with our company because I know we can help them get to the next level, and somebody else feeds them a story, and you know, they go to work for someplace else. That's discouraging, okay? Because I know I can help them, but you know, that's what happens. That's how it works. I'm working with you, and you're trying to get a listing, and I'm helping you with some language or something like that, and it doesn't happen. It gets discouraging. But we pick ourselves up and we move on with it. That's what I'm trying to get across today. It doesn't matter what happens to you, it matters how you react to it. You guys get that?
Yes.
Charles Swindoll said, words can never adequately convey the incredible impact of our attitude toward life. The longer I live, he's his words, not mine. The longer I live, the more convinced I become that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond to it. I believe the single most significant decision I can make on a day-to-day basis is the choice of my attitude. It is more important than my past, my education, my bankroll, my success or failures, fame or pain. Whatever other people think of me or say about me, my circumstances or my position, attitude keeps me going or cripples my progress. Attitude keeps me, it alone fuels my fire or assaults my hope. When my attitudes are right, there is no barrier too high, no valley too deep, no dream too extreme, no challenge too great for me. When your attitude is right. And when it's not, there's nothing that can hurt you more. So I wrote down here, month 3. March 1st is when? Tomorrow. March 1st is tomorrow. It's the 3rd month in the 1st quarter. We still have plenty of time. Doesn't matter what happened or didn't happen in the first 2 months. What's important is what we do with the balance of the year. Bless you. Now the issue that we have to look at is that when we think of the balance of the year, we think we still have how many months left? 10 months left. Okay? 10 months left. So when we think about 10 months, we think, I have what? I have time. I have plenty of time. 10 months, I can still do a lot in 10 months. I'm here to tell you that's true. That's the plus of the 10 months. You can still achieve your goals no matter what your goals are and no matter where you are in the first 2 months. However, the converse to that, the thing that will hurt you the most, is thinking you have still 10 months. That'll hurt you the most. Because we have to figure out time is running out. We have to put the pressure on us. We have to move ourselves forward. What we need to focus on now is how to have a great March. So write this down. How to have a great March. Number 1, not necessarily in this order, but this order can work out really well for you. Number 1, prospect. Good.
Wow, new word.
New word. Prospect. Look for good leads. Look for good leads. Number 2, follow up on good leads and set what? Appointments. Number 3, present. Go on qualified listing and buyer appointments. Number 4, negotiate contracts. And number 5, do it again. Mixed into those activities, you have to practice. Mixed into those activities, you have to practice. Learn what to say and how to say it. Learn the business in those activities. Learn the contracts. Learn how to explain the contracts. Learn what to say and how to say it. Learn the objection handlers. Here's an idea. There are 40 objection handlers, right? 40 that we use that we're taught. How about you memorize them? How about you just memorize them? How about you just memorize them? Decide to memorize them. Remember what I told you 40 years ago. I've been in this business 40 years. My first listing was a for sale by owner. That first listing was a for sale by owner 40 years ago in Northwest Whittier. Guess what the objection was? They didn't want to pay the commission. 40 years ago. First listing I ever got. They didn't want to pay the commission. It was a for sale by owner. Go figure. What do you think the objection's going to be 40 years from now? In fact, let's go a little further. How about the appointment you're going to have next week? The listing appointment you're going to have next week, they're either directly going to say they don't want to pay the commission or that much commission, or they're going to be thinking they don't want to pay the commission or that much commission. How you handle it is going to be tied directly to the success or failure of you getting that listing at the price and terms that you want to get it. I wrote down here, learn your markets, underline preview property. Learn your markets, underline preview property. Here's an interesting thought. Now, I'd like you to think about this in the terms of you being a buyer going into a neighborhood you don't know all that well, and you're interested in purchasing a property. Okay? Think about it from that perspective. The average agent that I talk to, that you know, hopefully you're not, the average agent sees 3 to 5 houses a week when they have a showing appointment. When they have a showing appointment, they go show 3 to 5 houses that they haven't previewed, but they actually go see them when they show the property. You guys with me? Okay? It's just what they do. All right? Now, how many times a month do you think an agent shows a week? So let me rephrase that. How many times a month do you think an agent actually shows property? Average agent. Once. Anybody more? At the most, 2. But the average agent shows property to a buyer, and they're going to be showing somewhere between 3 to 5 houses. You guys with me? Now, if you show 5 houses a week, and you do that for 6 months, that's 26 weeks. How much is 5 times 26? 130. So that means the average agent has seen in 6 months 130 homes. Now, that seems like a pretty great number, right? 130 pieces of property in a 6-month period of time. We teach that you should see 5 houses a day, 5 days a week, so that's 25 homes. And in 6 months, how many would you have seen? I'll give you the number. It's 650, I think. 26 times 25 is 750? I have 650. I'll go with your number. Anybody have a calculator? It's 26 times 25. 650. Okay, thank you. See, I believed you. I'm not going to argue with you. You're the client. 650 properties that if you did what we suggest. Now, remember, when I started this, I said to you, you're the client, you're the buyer in a neighborhood you're not that familiar with. Okay? Now, as the buyer, who would you rather be working with? An agent who's previewed and seen more than 600 pieces of property in the last 6 or so months, or somebody that's seen 100 or so plus properties in the last 6 months, but saw them on the way to showing other people property? Which one is a better agent? Which one is more knowledgeable in the area? Which one probably will do a better job for me as a buyer? Which one? Hello? The 650. Why? More product knowledge, more knowledgeable. Know the area. Knowledge equals confidence. Let me ask you something. If you would want that agent working for you, is it fair to assume that your clients would want that kind of an agent working for them? Fair assumption, right? And yet, we fight this. Just give the client what you want, what you think is fair and reasonable. That's all. You guys with me on that? So I wrote down here, never take no for an answer when yes is still possible with a qualified client. So, number one, what we're going to do is we're going to prospect and look for business and work on our scripts and dialogues. We're going to work there. We're going to preview properties so that we know what's going on and we're not just an average agent anymore. This is for the month of March and for the balance of the year. Okay? And we're going to also learn to never take no for an answer when yes is still possible with a qualified client. Write that down. You want to make some money? You guys want to make some money, yes or no? Yes. Okay. Learn how to do this. Never take no for an answer when yes is still possible with a qualified client. Here's a question. How many no's does it take for you to back off? 7. 5. 10. I love you guys, but I think your noses are growing.
Yep.
I think you guys are great. Some of the best in the area. And yet, when it gets much past 2 or 3 no's, you fold like a bad set of cards, man. It's true. Maybe once or twice you close like crazy. Maybe. And I'd like to think you do it all the time. But for the most part, we don't. After the second or third, maybe 4, but you don't do it. Never take no for an answer when yes is still possible with a qualified client. You don't do it in large part because you don't know what to say. You keep asking the same question, and then they get annoyed with you, and then they get mad at you, and you don't want that. So you need to really work on what to say and how to say it. We do that because we don't like to offend people. We feel like by asking them many times, we're offending them, we're making them uncomfortable. But the main thing is we don't know what to say and how to say it. The superstar, that's the average agent. The superstar hears the no, but they don't react to it. Because they expect the no. They know they're going to be pushed off. They know that. They know that the client wants to pay less commission. They know that the client probably has a friend in business. My gosh, don't we all? Everybody's got a real estate license today. I mean, it's nuts. We know that they want to think about it. We know that. Those are all no's, right? Those are all no's. Sign the contract. Well, they don't say no. I want to think about it. That's a no. Okay? I want to talk to my friend. That's a no. I want to talk to my spouse or significant other. That's a no. I want to talk to my attorney. That's a no. Do you get that? They're not just saying no, no, no. They're pushing you off with that. So the superstar, I wrote down here, almost all superstars, here's the no, yet they don't react by stopping and back off. They ask another question and move forward. They ask another question and move forward. Are the no's stopping you or slowing you down? Here's an interesting question. Last 2 months, how many times did you hear no, and how many times did it stop you? How many times did you hear no, and how many times did it stop you? So I wrote down, even though the client may push you off several times, you have to be able to handle the objection 5, 6, 7 times. Here's an interesting task for you right now. You write this down. I don't want you to do it right now, but sometime in the next hour or two, I want you to be able to answer this question. And that is, the client says we need to think about it. Which is a no, correct? How would you handle it? How would you handle, I want to think about it? And if you don't have 3 or 4 ways, 5 ways to be able to maneuver around that, then that client's going to stop you in your tracks. Do you guys get that?
Yes.
I wrote down here, every hour you put in over 40, either on your job or yourself, improving your knowledge and skill, is an investment in your success and your future. To achieve more than the average person, you must work longer, harder, and be more deliberate than the average person. Meaning, you have to start working on some of these scripts. You have to start working on how to overcome these no's. If I could do nothing else but help you get 2 more no's than what you normally are doing, if we just got 2 more no's each handled, I know there's another couple of deals a quarter for each of you. And if you did 1 more deal a quarter, that's 4 more transactions this year over and above what you would normally do. Whatever that number is, whatever your goal is, whatever your desire. But 4 more deals. 4 more deals is worth $40,000. Now let me ask you a question. To learn how to handle 2 more no's. 2 more no's. How much time would that take you in prep time, prep work? An hour a week? 2 hours a week? Give me a number. How much time would it take you to learn 2 objection handlers, the no's? 3 hours a week? Okay. So anyone think it would take longer than 3 hours a week? No. Okay. So 3 hours a week. So 3 hours a week, 40 weeks a year. Because there's certain weeks we're not going to do this. But let's say you did this and it took you 3 hours a week. How many weeks would it take to learn this? You have 40 weeks to do it.
120.
Sorry?
120 hours?
Well, let's say if it took you a year to learn this, would it take a year?
No.
Would it take 40 weeks? How many weeks would it take you to learn 2?
2.
3 weeks, 2 weeks? So if you really knew them well, could you learn them in a month?
Yes.
You could learn them in a month, right? So 3 hours a week times 4 weeks is 12 hours. Who had that calculator?
Virginia.
Okay?
Calculate.
So 40,000 divided by 12.
33. 3,033.
So hear what I'm going to say. If you could do this and learn how to handle 2 objections better per quarter, and 1 turned into money, okay? So that you did this all the time, but only 1 turned into money once a quarter, that's 4 for the year, or $10,000, okay? Excuse me, $40,000 for the year. You guys with me?
Yeah.
And if it took 12 hours to learn, of real intense, real focused, you would earn $3,300 per hour for your effort to learn that script. Is it worth $3,300 an hour to learn that script? See what happens? Yes, okay, I got a unanimous yes. Great. Okay, here's the deal. You see, until we tie dollars to it, you don't see the value. Let's say I'm completely wrong and you can't do 4 deals, you can only do 2. And it still takes you the 12 hours, all right? You're still going to make $1,500, $1,600 an hour for your effort. It's still, is it worth it or not worth it?
Yes.
Still worth it. And yet, we don't take that little time, that 12 hours, because we don't see the value. Hopefully, you can see the value, and you'll take some of that time over the next few weeks to work on some of these scripts, to prospect, to do your follow-up, to do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. I wrote down here, today matters. What's your attitude right now? What's your attitude right now compared to where it was, let's say, 30 minutes ago? Where are you right now? Do you feel better about your business or not as good about your business? Better. Were you a little bit discouraged maybe about your business when we started and now maybe a little bit more encouraged? Right? Right? Knowledge equals confidence. Knowledge equals confidence. Okay. You know, maybe you were working on something today and hopefully I gave you a little idea that might be able to put some dollars into your pocket over the next 2 or 3 weeks. But we have to start here in order to get here so that we can get here so we can be here. We forget that. That's what the bonus day today is really all about. It's the extra day. It's amazing to me. It's amazing that we get a whole extra day. And some people didn't even show up for work today. I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what they're thinking. Okay? You know, I guess leap day holiday, right? The only guy I think has the right to take off is Jim Arnold, because it's his birthday, his real birthday, and the guy's probably in the office working right now, because that's his work ethic. Okay? Do you guys get this? Today matters. How do you feel about where you are and who you are and where you are in life? If you don't like the life you have right now, you can change it. I just gave you a really small idea on how to work on overcoming some no's that might take you 6 to 12 hours of work over the next few weeks that could possibly give you 20 to 40,000 extra dollars in your pocket. That would change your life and you'd have a little bit better attitude. Right? Say yes.
Yes.
If you don't like where you are right now, you can change it. I wrote down here, a good attitude may not be everything. A good attitude may not be the only thing. Yet it's a great start. Now let's go out, take the rest of today as a bonus day, make it the lead-in day to how you're going to treat the next 31 days in March, and have a fabulous day. Thank you very much.